I'm going to tie an eastern blue-winged olive in the Compara-Nymph style. The Compara-Nymph was designed by Kaushi and Nastasi, the same two that also developed the Comparadun Fly Pattern. The Compara-Nymph can be designed to imitate any of the Mayflies, specifically the 4 types of Mayfly nymphs you'll see: the clingers, crawlers, burrowers, and swimmers. This eastern blue-winged olive is a crawler nymph, and its typical size is very small, in a size 18. Because I'm doing the eastern blue-winged olive, which is a crawler insect and very stout, I'm using a heavy hook. This is a 3X heavy wire. If you're tying a swimmer or a burrower mayfly, you might even want to use a light wire dry fly hook. So we're going to start our 16-aught olive thread at the beginning and work our way to the bend of the hook. Now, the original recipe calls for hacklecock feathers for the tail. I like my tails a little bit thicker. I am going to use olive dyed pheasant tail barbs. Just pull 4 to 6 barbs off to the side. Pull them straight up, even up the tips, and just pull those off. We'll bring those up underneath our thread and our hook. Make another wrap on top. Now we'll pull these to length. About the length of the hook shank. That's pretty good. And we'll wrap those in with a few more wraps. Now, if you want your tail to kind of splay and it hasn't splayed yet, you can come around and make a wrap underneath and pick those guys up like that. Now, because this is a crawler nymph, I want a fairly robust body. So I am going to use pine squirrel. The only pine squirrel I was able to find in olive was on a zonker strip. So pine squirrel is a great dubbing for nymphs, as it gives an exoskeleton appearance, an allusion to the fish. So I'm going to harvest mine off of this, get the down and the guard hairs, and mix those together and cut them in half. Because this is the crawler nymph, like I said, we are going to make a fairly thick body. On a swimmer, you may want to use something thin like a quill or a goose biot or just a really lightly dubbed body. But for the clingers and the crawlers, they're fairly fat. We'll just insult them here. Okay. Now for the wing case, the original recipe talks about taking some quill barbs, tying them in, fold them and over, and then put lacquer on it. I'm going to use some thin skin cut about 2/3 the width of the gape of the hook. I made a little point so it's easier for me to tie it in. And with the dull side up, I'm going to tie that in. There we go, right there. We'll fold that guy back. Going to use the same material for the thorax that I did the body, and we're going to make a little thicker thorax here to hold those chunky little legs. All right, we're going to do a half hitch to save our work right now. Now I'm going to tilt the fly backward because things tend to slide off on a downturned eye. Now get yourself a hen feather, as small as you can get them for the size 18 hooks. Now if you can't find one, then you can use the barbs and mount them on each side and then pull them to length. Got a little feather here. Now we're going to cut off the fluffy part. I don't want to weaken my stem. Should look just like that. And we'll save our work with a half hitch. This is where a rotary vise comes in handy. Use your hackle pliers and make sure you grab and get a hold of the stem. Now I'm going to move back my camera. You're not going to get more than a couple wraps out of this. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go up over the feather, making sure I capture the stem. I'm also going to get some fibers, but we'll push those back. That broke off on us, that's okay. Now let's pull everything back. Again a little bit. All right, take your thin skin. Let's see if we can divide these hairs the best we can. There we go. So we've captured it, but it's a little close to the eye, so we can just lift that up. Make another wrap. Pull that guy back. All right, and one more. Now take a good grip of that, pull it tight, and then we will cut it, and it'll pull back and be underneath our wraps. Let's take our half hitch tool and finish off our fly. And we'll take some super glue. There we go.